How you doing, guys? Bill Grundler here, CrossFit Inferno. My other job is I'm a fire captain for CAL FIRE, stationed up at Shell Beach. And with Pat Sherwood going around showing you guys everyone else's home gym, I want to show you what we have here at the station. So the cool thing about fire stations are we have a lot of heavy equipment to move stuff around anyway. So if you don't have any weights, you can look right over here. We have a whole rack of weights. So it's just a matter of how you want to move it, what you want to do with it. Elliptical machine here, classic run / ski odd weirdo thing, and then the treadmill here. The other weights that we got at the time were these dumbbells. So that's all we really had supplied with that we used for a bunch of years. Obviously, these right here will only go up to about the 50 pounds because you don't want to get too strong, right? I don't know what the deal is with that. Box jumps, 24 inches, 20 inches, depending what you want. Tailboards work great. The downside is once you get tired, if you hit a box and you get the little rubber top, that's one thing, because yeah, you get a little bruise or whatever. These right here can do some numbers on the shins, so you really need to be careful with that. One of the other things we'll do with this is throw, take some hose, put the hose on it like this, and when you land on top, you actually can protect your shins. That was one of the ways we get around it. If we needed to go really high, we can stack those up to here and we can go really high. So we got to have some fun with it that way. So that's what we did for box jumps. Medicine balls. Pulled out some rope stuff. We have a 200-foot bag of rope right here, and we would fill it with either some webbing or some other things, just kind of sticking it inside, basically weighting this as best we could. Tie this up around here, and there's our medicine ball. So if you look up, you can see where the black tape is, and that's where we would put our 10-foot mark. So we just do our medicine balls just like that, all the way down. Doing that type of thing. So that would be our medicine ball throw. Rings, muscle ups, ring dips, ring push-ups, all that kind of thing. Didn't have any, obviously, so come on over here, and this is what we did. We saw some of these things on the old journal sites and things like that, as far as heating up some PVC pipe, bending it, and then making that your ring. So that's what we did. What we used here, since we're on the coast also, we get to surf a lot. So we have some surf straps that we got to use and hook them up to an eye bolt or something above us. And then we have a set of rings here that we get to use. So we've used these, obviously see how dirty they are. We use these quite a bit. So back before we started getting a lot of equipment, these are the types of things we were using here. Kettlebells. Being that these go up to 50, we use the dumbbell just like we would a kettlebell. And like I said, depending on, we have a lot of variety, so depending on the firefighter that we have and their level of expertise, they can choose whatever. They can use 50 for the kettlebell here, this way, or this way, right here. So they're using their kettlebells that way. So there weren't a whole lot of bars and things that were out there, especially the weights. Got on Craigslist, and just the guys at the station put some money together and we got some stuff. So here's what we did. Grabbed a couple different bars. Just found a bunch of different bars that we could use, 45-pound bars. So we have a couple different ones, which is nice because that way we can get a lot of people working out at the same time. Another thing we found, a nice squat rack to use, which is always great. What we were doing before we got the squat rack was any kind of heavy lifting, whether you're doing squats or any overhead presses or anything like that, you had to get off the ground first. So that could definitely limit what you're going to be squatting. I haven't got to the point where I'm squatting for cleaning 400 pounds yet, so it's going to make it really difficult to get it up in the squat. So that right there was a huge help. Craigslist was cheap, $50 here, $75 there for weights, bars, whatever. And then also the plates. We got some metal plates initially. They're great for the weight stuff, and then a rubber mat, so we had something to put it down to. But what we couldn't do is we couldn't drop the stuff. So failing became a big deal. We would start waking up the neighbors just by dropping the weights down, so we didn't want to do that. So that's how we used to do it. What we grew into was obviously start getting some of the CrossFit equipment, some of the normal stuff you're going to see in CrossFit gyms. Some rings here, some regular ones for muscle ups, some ring dips. You know, always a beauty to do. Bumper plates. These are great, you know, especially in here because we do have to be able to drop the weights down. The worst part is when you're in the middle of a burning workout and then the tones go off and you have to drop everything right then, go get your turnouts on and get to the call and you know, take care of the emergency. But we have a decent amount of weights here. I mean, you could always use more. What we're able to do is mix these and our metal plates right here. So that helps out a lot. One of the things I didn't get to show that I wanted to show was before we got the bumpers, we had the metal plates. But if we were doing something like a deadlift or a heavier clean, we didn't have the ability, we didn't have enough weights. But we had that whole rack of hose off the side over there that I showed you earlier. So what we did was we grabbed these, basically 45 pounds, and we would put these on the bar, like this. And it's not the prettiest, but it definitely works. So that's what we would use. So a lot of things we could do to makeshift and substitute in. But once we started getting the real things like the rings, the bumpers, it really started to help. Actually getting real medicine balls was great. Bags were a little rough. Get a little chafing on the chin with the straps and things. We have our pull-up bar outside so we can do pull-ups. Bands. These are great so you can do the K-Star Mobility WOD stuff. We use these a lot. I use these a lot just for my own. I end up doing most of my training here at the station rather than even at the gym, just because of time. If I'm at the gym, I'm usually training the classes. So here's where I get most of my training done. But we have a lot of firefighters that aren't used to this type of training, aren't used to doing the number of pull-ups that we do and things like that. So these bands are key. We can put them out on our pull-up bar. They can get their 20, 30, 50, whatever the rep set is with these bands and not feel like they're missing out on anything. Like I said, we do what we can to get a good workout in here and make sure that we're giving the community what they need. And this is the only place I really get to work out since I have to train classes at the gym. So anyway, that's all I have. Thanks for hanging out at my station, you guys, and I'll see you soon.